Miss Magdalene, what brings you in the court today?
Yes, Your Honor. I have been a member of a Catholic church and a loyal member, and I believe that the priest is the father of my baby. I had been a virgin saving myself for my fiance, but of course it didn't end up that way.
So you're stating that you had relations with Father Doolittle.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so are you still a virgin, or was this immaculate conception? What? I'm trying to make sure I understand.
Certainly, no. I've had a child. How could I be a virgin? That defies, the laws of
Everything but your faith.
Well, it happens. I'm human too, just like everyone else. I've been a faithful parishioner at this church, trying to serve the church for him and just to do the right thing for my child, no matter what has happened.
You were trying to serve the church for who?
Well, for the sake of the church. I've always been active in the church. I'm human. I messed up, but I do believe that he is the father of my child.
How was your relationship with him before all of this? I mean, not with Jesus, but with Father Doolittle.
Well, it was nice. I served, I volunteered a lot, and he was even friends with my fiance, but that relationship didn't continue after getting pregnant by Father Doolittle.
So let me ask you this about your relationship with Father Doolittle. How did your bond grow, or how did you become friends, or how did you become lovers? Explain it to me.
Well, a lot of times I would lead some of the events at the church, whether it were fundraisers or collecting toys for children or money for certain events. And so we would be the main ones left. Sometimes, people may come and they may help, but they would leave. So it always seemed like we were the last ones at the church. And of course, since it seemed like one of the main volunteers, I would stay to make sure everything was put away, everything was done before leaving, instead of just leaving that on him or the members to come, for the next service or mass.
So, wait a minute. I'm missing something here. You're saying that you all slept together, but you slept together in the church?
Well, I'm very embarrassed and ashamed to admit, but yes, unfortunately, yes.
Okay, Father Doolittle, please explain the relationship before all of this baby came along and the baby got pregnant and the accusations started flinging. Please explain. What was your relationship like?
Your Honor, first let me bless the lady for her transgressions. Usually what happens in the confession stays in confession, but I must confess to you that this woman has always been a promiscuous lady, and I always had a soft spot for her because her confessions were very heavy, and I wanted her to volunteer with me. I wanted her to be part of the community because she's such a lost soul. She talks about sexual dreams all the time, and I was just trying to help her get out of that sort of state of mind.
And help her get out of that state of mind by doing what?
I just wanted to show her positive things, positive ways to make an impact on the community without wanting to shake her booty online or talk about sexual promiscuity on a regular basis.
In confession?
In confession and also outside of confession, sir.
Okay, so what you were just stating was the things that she said outside of confession.
Yes, as well.
Okay. Miss Magdalene, what makes you believe that Father Doolittle is the father of your child?
He's the only person that I've slept with, and all of this other talk about things. I'm a human, whether I was a virgin or not. If I was abstinent or keeping myself for a fiance or a future husband, that doesn't mean that I'm not imaginative. So for him to say that, I don't really understand. But obviously he didn't have much of an issue with it because I didn't see him trying to run from me while we were in the church. Being intimate, by the way.
Okay. Father Doolittle, I'm going to ask you the same thing. What gives you pause to believe that you are not the father?
Your Honor, many years ago, I made a commitment to God, I made a commitment to Jesus Christ, and I made a commitment to the church. And I have never had sexual relations with any woman or any person for that matter. And these accusations, I believe, are stemmed from a mental disorder.
So you're stating that your vow has not been broken?
Absolutely, 100%.
Miss Magdalene, your rebuttal on that?
Yes, that is highly interesting. We've spent many late nights after volunteer events being intimate in the church.
So you're saying...
To protect him, so we didn't take it outside of the church. Unfortunately, I fell for it. I'm human again. I was a woman who was just, sensitive, going through things in life. We all go through things in life. But again, he did not run away, and the things that he's saying, shaking my booty and all that, no, I didn't. I may have talked where I was an adult, whether I was waiting or trying to save myself or not. I may have spoke of things, but not in a nasty or promiscuous way. He's the only person that I've slept with even until today.
So, Miss Magdalene, what has held you back from bringing Father Doolittle to the court today? Why is it taking so long?
Well, to be honest, Your Honor, I've had feelings for him, obviously. Whether it could go somewhere or not because of his commitment, it has happened. So naturally, if I continue to bond with someone, I'm human. I don't know about him. But if you naturally continue to bond something, you're going to connect. I felt connected, and in that, I wanted to protect him. But my son is 1 now, and I know it can't go on this way. Just trying to be committed to the church, committed to my faith, just at a crossroads, and I don't want to do it anymore. So I want it to be known, and so that my child can get to know his father in the way that he can.
Father Doolittle, I have to ask you the same question. What is holding you back from believing that this child is yours?
As God is my witness, what's holding me back is I've never had sexual relations with that woman or any other woman ever in my life. I got into the church and got into the priesthood very young, right out of college, and I've remained a virgin my entire life. This woman has a lot of fantasies. She's known as the church Jezebel because of the way she runs her mouth about sexual content, constantly making sexual jokes that are off-putting and making the rest of the church feel completely uncomfortable with her promiscuous sensualities.
Wow. So the question to you, Miss Magdalene, is who pushed you forward to come here to the court today? Who gave you the idea to come here and bring Father Doolittle here?
Actually, Your Honor, it was the church. But they did not know that I was speaking that the father of my child is Father Doolittle. And also, as far as the accusations, the members of the parishioners at our church would not allow me to lead anything if I was walking around talking all sorts of sexual nonsense to people. That would not happen.
So the parishioners don't know that you're referring to Father Doolittle?
They have no clue.
Okay. Wow. So, Miss Magdalene, what obstacles did you face to get Father Doolittle here?
Well, it was really hard. Trying to serve at the church and being faithful to the church, I didn't want to cause hurt or a big disruption or even stain or taint his name, all for the sake of commitment. But I could not go on. I can't go on much longer in this way. And I think my fellow parishioners were really concerned about my child going forward. I would share things with them and my feelings of feeling a sense of abandonment and things like that towards my child, but I just never said his name again out of loyalty and protection. That's the way I was raised in church. You're committed, do what you're supposed to do, volunteer, but this is just too much to bear much longer. It's too much to bear.
And the parishioners don't know that Father Doolittle is the person that you were referring to at this point.
No, they do not.
Ms. Magdalene, the question to you is, how do you plan to handle this if Father Doolittle is not the father?
If he's not the father, which I don't understand how, but if he were not to be the father, I'd have to move on with raising my child, because the health and well-being of my child is extremely important also.
I see. And Father Doolittle, if by some chance, some miracle, that you are the father, how do you plan to deal with this?
Well, if I am the father, then I would say that maybe perhaps I was drugged during one of our ceremonies and she took advantage of me under a confused state. But by the grace of God, Your Honor, if that child is mine, we have another miracle on our hands, and I think there's more to explore.
I see. Are you talking about communion?
There were reports of the wine that we give out in the church was possibly drugged at communion, yes.
I see. And you suspect Miss Magdalene of this?
I had never expected this before, but now I feel sorry for this child, and I wish God has mercy on your soul, because this woman is a perpetual liar.
Has anyone else said they may have been drugged by the wine?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay, so only yourself. I have the results right here. And there's a 99.9999% chance that these results are accurate. And we only say that the 0.1% is by some miracle that it couldn't be right. So when it comes to 1-year-old Isaiah, Father Doolittle, you are the father.
This is outrageous. This is outrageous. There's no way that that's accurate.
Sir?
I would like another test taken, please, or perhaps at another place.
This is 100% correct, okay? So my question to both of you is, how do you plan to move forward from this point on? Are you going to be in your child's life?
First, I would like to take another test at another facility, and if it turns out that by some miracle this child is mine, then I will have to pursue.
Well, we're not going to talk about tests at other facilities. Right now, this is 100% accurate. Father Doolittle, you have sat here the entire time and lied to the cameras, lied to Miss Magdalene, lied to me, an officer of the court, with a straight face, mind you. So I'm going to say this. You are a pathological liar. And if I was the officers of your parish, I would check and make sure that she is the only person that has been victimized by you. And I would check into altar boys as well, because you have sat here and lied the entire time. You've got my ruling. Case dismissed.
This is devil's work.
Courts adjourned.
This is the devil's work. This is clearly the work of the devil, and you are clearly devil's advocate. And I pray for your soul, sir. I pray that your false documentations and your false accusations are forgiven by Lord Jesus Christ, and I really will be praying for you when I leave this court today. God bless you.